Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Valentine Lister, and this is my series on the Minor Arcana for the Suit of Swords. And today we're covering the Ace of Swords, and we're going to go into the secret symbolism in this card, as well as the upright and the reversed meanings. We're also going to get into the astrology of the card, which will help you understand it as well. But before I get into it, I just wanted to let you know about a discount that I'm offering for readings with me. So right now I'm offering $20 off your very first reading by using the code 20 bucks. And this code is valid until December 31st, 2021. And to use that and to book, you can go to my website, valentinelister.com. I'll also put the info in the description box below so you can get it there. And what I offer a tarot card reading, I offer an astrology birth chart reading, and I also offer a combination of the two. And it's a live Zoom session, one-on-one between the two of us. And so again, if you're interested in that, there's a link in the description box below. All right, guys, so let's get into the Ace of Swords. Okay, so as usual, I have a little nickname for this card to give you a little feel for it. And I like to call this card, I've Got a New Idea. Okay, so with the rulers of the Ace of Swords, it is not associated with any specific planet or zodiac sign. It's associated with an element, the element of air, which represents like thoughts, ideas, communications, and it's associated with the entire season of winter. And so with the aces, we generally think of them as like the start of winter, like when it gets going, like right in the beginning when it's fresh. And then it will lead us into the entire winter season and the entire suit of swords. Now, if you want to remember like these associations, like with the astrology for all of the cards, not just this Ace of Swords, for all of them, I have this written down for you. You don't have to write notes every time I come out with a video. I have what's called a tarot and astrology cheat sheet that I have available for you guys, where I write out each card and what their astrological correspondences are, because astrology and tarot are like two peas in a pod. They love each other. So you can get this tarot and astrology cheat sheet by going down to the description box below and clicking on the link that I'll put down there in the description box, and you can get that tarot and astrology cheat sheet as a thank you for signing up for my mailing list. Okay, so the first thing I want to get into and ties into this meaning of this Ace of Swords, before I get into the actual symbols, is I want you to think about the start of winter and how you feel when winter begins, and like what are some of the things that come to you. So I'm going to describe what comes to me and how this ties into like the freshness and the crispness of the Ace of Swords. So in the winter, right? A lot of us don't look forward to the winter. We get down. Some of us love the winter and love the colds and love doing winter sports, whatever. But there's always a moment where I go outside in the colds in the winter when it's fresh and new. And there's this moment of silence. And it's beautiful and it's magical and it's wonderful, where I just am hit with this cold, crisp air. And again, everything's quiet, it's clear, and everything is bare, right? The leaves are falling off the trees, at least here, you know, northern, you know, US where I am, and a lot of places. But where I am, you know, everything is bare. You can see right through the trees. And it's so quiet. And there's this moment, right, where I'm just hit with it. And maybe it was the first snow, or maybe it's just a really cold day, you know, whatever it is. But there is this moment where I feel like it's like, it feels magical. It feels like I feel clear, I feel alive, and I feel present. Like everything is so clear and crisp and clean. And it's like you versus the wild. And it's peaceful. It's a really peaceful time. And so remember that time. Remember that moment where you are in the cold air and it feels fresh and crisp and clear, and the beauty of that cold and the freshness of it. and the clarity. And then you get the feel of what this Ace of Swords is all about. So I want to get into the actual like symbols in the card. So the first thing that I noticed with the symbols is that we have this hand of God. This is representing the hand of God just coming out of the clouds, and it's above the mountains, right? See, the mountains are down here. Now, in the symbolism in the past, when we've seen mountains, there's a bunch of cards where there's mountains. The mountains represent the height of abstract thought, thinking objectively and clearly. And so we can see that these mountains are both red and blue. So red represents passion, desire, vitality, and courage, right? Our spirit, pushing forward, fighting, right? Or like feeling like so amazing, right? But it's a hot feeling. And then we have blue, and that represents compassion, serenity, mental clarity, and with the water, emotions. So the sword is both white and blue too. The white would represent purity, and the blue, like, also could be purity, mental clarity, serenity, and compassion. So what we're looking at right here, this sword is a thought. It's a pure thought. It's untouched, unaffected. It's not attached to emotion yet. It's not down here, like in the real world, like grounded, where we start feeling things about that thought. We attach like past experiences, like feelings, emotions, or we even feel inspired, right? This is just a thought. It's a thought. It's crisp. It's clean, just like the winter feel, where things are just so clear and pure. And so it brings to mind, right? Like, thoughts are innocent before they're touched, like before they're connected to anything. Like, ideas or thoughts themselves don't take on any meaning when they first come into our minds. They're swift like the air. They come and go. And if you don't attach to them, or you don't try to grab that thought and like hold on to it, it tends to leave as fast as it comes. So thoughts are just energy. Like, they're just like info coming through. Like, if you played a video or a song in the background, like, and you're not paying attention, like that noise, it becomes non-existent. Like, it's like not even there. It's just like noise in the background. Like, it doesn't take on any meaning. It's just noise. So again, this thought right here is pure. It's where the soul meets the mind. The soul is being represented by this crown here. So the thought, right, is meeting the soul. And so yellow again represents the soul, optimism, enthusiasm, and joy. So I'm like pointing two places here, but I'm focusing on this crown up on the top. So where does the soul meet the mind and these ideas and thoughts? It's when it sees beyond emotions and beyond passions. It's where it can see clearly, right? And where we can still see the soul, right? So we can see the soul and we can see the thought is not the soul. There's a separation, right? So before we get into meditation or spiritual work, we tend to think that our thoughts and also our emotions are us. They are our identity. If we don't have what we believe, if we don't have how we feel, if we don't have the joys and inspiration, even getting into that wands energy, we're not us. But that's not true. There is a separation between who you are, the soul, the consciousness, the energy that's inside of you, that's eternal, that's going to last beyond this body. Like, your body, right, is going to pass away, but you are still this pure, raw, beautiful energy, intricately woven into the universe, from the universe, that is still going to go on and on and on. That's eternal. And so it's in this place where you have peace with your thoughts, right? It brings up a lot of like meditation, like when you're in meditation, right? You have these kinds of insights. And so the peace with your thoughts is represented by, on the left here, gotta figure out my sides, is an olive branch. And so the olive branch generally symbolizes peace. And then on the right side, we have a palm branch, and that represents victory and eternal life. And so this is also where like pure creation happens, right? Where pure ideas that are getting created happens. And that's represented by, there's like six like little flame looking things here. And they're called Sephiroth. And they're from the Kabbalah system. And so they're called six Sephiroth. And they are a symbol for how the infinite life force, right? That soul energy, right? That you're one and the same with the universe. It's how it reveals itself here, and how it represents creation. So here is where we create with our thoughts, because no one is going to judge them in this place, right? When it's just a pure thought, it's not attached to anything. That thought is just ours. It's pure and it's simple. It's free. And so there's also, beyond that freedom, we have this sword. It's double-edged. So the double-edged, like that the two sides are sharp. That means it's double-edged versus like just one side is sharp and one would be dull. It represents the ability of thoughts to both, they cut away life as well as build it. So, and that could be many things, right? It can cut away life to create, right? To prune things, to cut away what's not necessary, as well as build it, right? So we come in with new ideas. So again, here in this card, it's cutting away from passions and emotions below. These are like passions and emotions to see objectively. Now, if you're an emotional person like me, this was a hard concept because at first you may think like this sword energy and this pure thought separated from emotions. It's like so life-taking. Like you love your feelings. Like I love my feelings. And again, that was like for so long, I thought my feelings were me, like they're part of my identity, or, you know, like my emotions, how I feel is me. But this Ace of Swords is a lot of relief, right? Like once I started meditation and even focusing on a mantra or a single thought, it can provide like a lot of like needed relief. Because I can get lost in my emotions and I can get so drowned in them and think it's the only way to see. But this can take me away from those emotions and help me see objectively and get some relief from emotions, like if I'm lost or overwhelmed in them. And that's what the Ace of Swords can do for us. And so here is also representing in this card the ultimate freedom and victory over life. Thinking of that crown, right? And the sword, victory. Your thoughts, this is a thing to think about too, is that ultimate freedom. Your thoughts are yours alone, right? People can tell you what to think. They can think you should have a certain opinion, but what's in there in your mind is yours and yours alone. And you're allowed to think in that little noggin of yours, whatever the hell you want. No one can take that away from you. No one can touch your thoughts. So you're free to think what you want because no one's in there but you. Okay, and I'm just going to quickly go over the numerology in this card. So this is the ace. So aces are associated with one. It's the first, card. It comes before two. So ace is one. And that represents manifestation, creation, and action. All right, so getting into the upright meaning of this card. So this card is all about seeing something clearly, seeing an idea for something like a creative project or work project comes through. So even just seeing an idea clearly before you even do anything with it, just having ideas and letting them be free, right? And just flow. But there's also this moment of clarity, right? You see something's just so clear. So you'll see that like creative project or work project or like way to solve an issue or something to do. You see it so clearly. And so in this card, when you get it, you'll be able to gain clarity about something in your life. And you gain clarity on something, it could be gaining clarity on something that was a conflict. It's like kind of muddled, and then all of a sudden you can see it like really neutrally and objectively. So for example, like you may be upset about something like with a partner or a friend over something they did, right? And you're just so mad. And then there is that moment, right, where you can come to terms with them, like you like, it's this instance where you talk to them and you have a realization that like they did it unintentionally, or like what you thought happened didn't happen. So all of a sudden you see it in a different way and you see the situation clearly and what was going on with them and how the conflict happened. And you're like, oh, and it just clears up, right? So basically, this is a clear thought that brings peace. Okay, so the reversed meaning of the card, if this card comes out reversed, the energy is being blocked or avoided. So in that situation, what it might mean is that you're not able to see a situation clearly because you're not getting all of the information about it. You know, like it's muddled. Like you can't really see everything that you need to know in the situation. So for example, what that could look like is like someone denying that they did something when you know that they did it. Like maybe they made a phone call like to an ex or something, right? Or whatever it is, you know, it could be work related too, or school related, but you know, they made the call and they said they didn't. So you can't like come to justice or clarity or like a truce over the situation, something like that. Or you're just on the brink of a solution to a problem or work or creative project, but like not 100% clear. Like you feel the clarity coming, but you're just not 100% clear. So, and that could be because you don't have all the info you need about it yet, or maybe you need some time to take to reflect on it. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed this video on the Ace of Swords. This is just a quick reminder that if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for whenever I release a new video. My next video is going to be on the Two of Swords, and I also do a weekly tarot and astrology reading every Sunday. And if you want to catch up on the videos that I've done already for the minor arcana and the major arcana, well, minor arcana, I'm going to put a minor arcana playlist here for you, as well as a related video I think you'll like up here. All right, love you guys so much. Take care, bye. If you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified for whenever I release a new video every single week.